Alright guys, Wheeler here, back with more Persona 5 Strikers. Continuing on, we are going to move on to next city.
Let's get to work.
So let's go. So, yeah, I guess on to the next city.
Let's go.
What if your request is about to be voided? To be honest, I don't really care. I'm not really focusing on the requests. I'm assuming we're going to get story stuff, but when we're not getting story stuff, I'm going to actually go and watch my own video that just came out. The Uncharted 4 video.
From here, it'll take approximately 12 hours under normal driving conditions, as well as a trip by ferry.
No way! I thought we were closer than that.
Guess we'll have to stop and snooze another night before we get there. Even after landing in Hokkaido, we still have a long drive ahead of us. Will you be alright, Mako-chan?
Don't worry, I'll be able to power the whole way through.
You rock, Makoto! I like that energy!
I have to admit, I'm kind of exhausted. All this time on the road is starting to get to me. This is the longest I've ever driven, so any amount of rest would help.
That's true. We were in the camper all day. We definitely owe you a break. Sorry for asking too much of you, Mako-chan. I wish I could drive in your stead.
Don't you worry about me. Driving's a responsibility I enjoy. Plus, it's nice listening to everyone chatter away in the back. Keeps me alert and motivated.
And we will find a way to repay your devotion.
Ryuji, massage her shoulders at once and procure the finest self-serve money can buy.
On it! Wait, why does it have to be me?
I'll massage you too before bed. I know this technique that works wonders on sore muscles. Us models use it all the time.
That'd be great. I could use a good massage.
Makoto, I need to apologize.
What? Why?
Because I can't help you. Even though I know how effective physical stimulation is at treating fatigue, that I'm all digital, and therefore incapable of massaging. An AI that can't provide assistance cannot be humanity's companion. I'm as worthless as a book.
Sophia? Are you going through mood swings or something?
Yeah, no need to be so hard on yourself. You've been a great deal of help so far. We owe you a lot, Sophia.
You mean it? That makes me happy. And I do want to try this soft serve you speak of.
The mood swung right back to normal.
Makoto, you look spent. I say we call it a day the moment we reach Hokkaido.
In that case, we should treat ourselves to some local cuisine for dinner.
Oh, I've always wanted to try wasabi soda.
No thanks. Hang in there, Makoto. Sapporo's just a stone's throw away.
I hear you. Hokkaido sure is vast, isn't it?
Fast enough to call it huge Kaido by my reckoning.
It's supposed to be a lot cooler up here. So hopefully that means no more stuffy, sleepless nights.
You said it. Nothing more
Was
hellish.
Hokkaido in,
Sweaty tent crammed with dudes.
Hellish indeed. We're so overheated we nearly stripped naked by morning time.
Was it in,
Just make sure you keep
Yakuza? Was it? I feel like Hokkaido was in, like, another game that I've played recently. Wait, Sapporo? I thought we were going to Wait, are we stopping here first? And then, or is this in
Hello,
Hokkaido?
Sapporo!
So this
Oh, it is in
Sapporo
Hokkaido,
Central
okay.
City, a bustling outpost of civilization, cradled by the untamed wilderness.
Hey, you think they're still doing the snow festival?
Are you seriously that?
Oh yeah, Hokkaido. Okay,
Well,
that's what it is.
certainly
Yakuza
cooler
5.
here than Tokyo.
Yeah, I remember now.
It should be a nice change of pace.
Yeah,
I know we
yeah,
just
okay.
got here, but
That's where that's where Kiru was, right?
Sophia?
Never mind. Nope, that's not where Kiru was. That's where
An intense one.
Where Sagema? Oh, okay. That's like yeah. That's where Sagema goes. And, okay. Yeah.
Is the monarch of Sapporo. Then may I suggest we comb the area for intel?
Before that, I think we should hit the bath. Seriously, I've been feeling all gross since yesterday.
Agreed. It would be nice to freshen up a little first.
Fuck. They talk about taking a bath like so many fucking times in this game.
500 meters from here.
Wow, Sophia, you work quick. Guess it's bath time for you guys then. In the meantime, I'll be on the prowl for that intel.
Don't worry, Mona-chan. I'll rinse you down as soon as we're done.
What? No, I can clean myself just fine.
It's just as the data says. Cats hate getting wet.
Don't lump me in with those other furballs. I demand you give your data a full rewrite.
I'd like to try a bath. Would someone mind bringing this phone in?
Wouldn't the hot water, like, wreck it? Along with you inside?
I'm sure we can work out the details. Now, Sophia, will you guide us there?
Alright, so, yeah, with that, let's go ahead and, watch my own fucking video. Run through the game from beginning to end. So let's start off with the prologue, which starts in medias res, taking place after chapter 12 with Nate and Sam in the middle of a storm. And this is a cool set piece. I mean, I do like the concept of the Nate flashback stemming from Nate essentially being knocked out. But that being said, it does feel like they're trying to recreate the magic of the Uncharted 2 prologue. And I can still find that intro much stronger, way more memorable than this one as a whole. But still, obviously not bad. But this does lead us to chapter 1, which was the first flashback where I think I should have run that better. This teaches us about the stealth.
We've got whatever you need.
Yeah, how long ago did I make this video again? This is like 3 months ago or something.
Relationship, and this obviously sets up the second flashback that does happen much later in the game.
Yeah, like when did we play Uncharted 4 at this point? I think it was like beginning of January, right?
To a better flashback that happens later on, but as its own individual piece of the story, probably not as compelling as I would like it to be. Now for chapter 2,
I put 3 ads in this video. That's probably too many.
where we see Nate in the Penguin jail, which was a really cool callback to Uncharted 1, where Nate makes an offhand remark to Elena about it. And to be honest, that was something I didn't even pick up until way after my first playthrough. But again, it's cool to see that
Maybe
there.
somebody
But here we
passed
get a
away.
pretty solid
Now that you
climbing
mention
section
it, I
where we
do
have to
recall
climb this
there was an
massive
accident
tower,
in
and that
the
requires something new
Something
climbing
about a
mechanics
Oh,
like
my Uncharted video just passed my Final Fantasy 7 video.
It ended up taking the young girl's
Nate
life.
now being grown up, and
Maybe that was
Sam
where
in
it
this
happened.
chapter pretty much being the same as
can
the
only
modern
imagine the
Sam that we
sorrow
spend
of
most of our time
Christmas.
with. We do also get introduced to Rafe Adler, who ends up being the main antagonist of the game. And in this
What's
chapter,
wrong?
we are working
Are we
with
not
him
taking
to
a
find
bath
Henry
anymore?
Avery's treasure. And I think he gets a solid introduction here, with him like killing Vargas, really setting up his character for later down the road. In this chapter, we also get the background of why Sam hasn't appeared in previous installments, with Nate thinking he's dead, and this event being so traumatic.
Yeah, if I remember right, I don't think I was happy with how this video turned out.
Premise of this story, like while I
But whatever.
hear their explanations to make Sam not feel like a retcon, he still feels like a retcon to me. Especially considering how in the flashback sequence, we essentially have the assumption that Nate and Sam spend most of their time together after the events of that flashback sequence, to the point of Sam's supposed death. And there's a lot of talk about how like they spent all that time searching for Henry Avery's treasure, but that doesn't really make sense considering we have the Uncharted 3 flashback, where we
Wait, is
see
this-
Sully meeting
Oh, it
Nate for the
is.
first time, and,
It's like
Sam
kind
meeting
of similar
Nate,
to,
it's nowhere in sight.
I mean, it's not
There's
as
no
big, but like
reference to him having a
the city
brother,
structure and
despite
so. Well, I think it's the basic city structure, but it is kind of similar to how
the
Yakuza had their thing.
Just like an offhand remark would have been able to
Oh shit, that was a lot of money.
I also know that Sully
I
and
shouldn't have
Sam
done that.
have a semblance of a relationship as well, which also makes you wonder why Sully never mentions this at any point, not even to Elena. And also, it's strange that despite being married to Elena for a decently long time at this point, that he's never mentioned this major part of his life. Like, considering that this is supposedly most of his young adult life is spending time with Sam searching for Henry Avery's treasure, the fact that he never talks about that is kind of ridiculous. And I get the arc they're trying to make me go through over the course of the story with him and his relationship with Elena, but still, it is dumb. But despite this and like the obviousness of this being a retcon, it never really affects my opinion on the overall narrative. It's really just a minor blemish that I don't really take into consideration too seriously. But the chapter does end with Sam obviously falling, and I love this scene. It reminds me a lot of Power Rangers Lost Galaxy, which was one of my favorite shows as a kid. And there's a moment very early on in that season where Leo thinks that his brother Mike falls to his death, and this scene was very reminiscent of that. But this leads to
Play Animal Crossing videos with your screen up. Try YouTube Premium on us and explore uninterrupted. Even if you're
Yeah, I'm getting my own ad.
your work can't be.
Let's go back.
Try Asana today for free.
It's to chapters 3 and 4, where we get acclimated to Nate's current life 15 years after the previous chapter and 3 years after Uncharted 3. We see that Nate has now given up treasure hunting and now works for a salvage company, and we spend chapter 3 underwater finding crates from a wreck, and I don't love this section gameplay-wise. I mean, I never particularly cared for underwater sections in games, and this isn't really an exception, but unlike most other underwater sections, I don't get frustrated with this.
The heat has crept into my
This one.
bones.
Like, it plays fine, but it's just I'd rather be doing other things. Chapter 4 focuses around Nate's home life, and we see his
that
current
bath was
relationship
pretty
with
solid.
Elena,
We should
and
go again
this
when
was
we're in
interesting
town.
to see,
Anyways,
as outside
us
of a
having a
few
bath like
scenes
this
within
all to
Uncharted
ourselves.
3, we don't ever
Get that
actually
at home.
see them
What's
together
more, we're in the
outside
middle
of
of a long
where they're
journey.
already going on an adventure.
We must take
So
proper
it's nice
measures
see
to
their
recover
normal
our strength
lives
and
here.
stamina.
You also get this section Attic, which was cool, which has a whole bunch of callbacks to their previous games of like relics that appeared in those games. And then we do have this kind of funny section of Nate shooting at these targets with a Nerf gun. So that was something. We eventually get to play Crash Bandicoot as well, which is a cool callback. But at the same time, to be honest, it's kind of like annoying on the replay. Where like at this point, every single time I play this game, I just like try to kill myself as quickly as possible because it's like don't really care enough to be playing Crash Bandicoot.
What the fuck are we doing?
Playing Uncharted. And to be honest, I also feel like it just kind of harms the pacing of the section. This does lead to chapter 5, where Nate is in his office, and out of nowhere, Sam visits him and explains where he's been to Nate. And we get this playable section as on Strange, as we never play as Sam ever again. But here we have to escape prison with the drug lord named Hector Alcazar. And this section also serves as a tutorial to the combat of the game, which
Sophia might
weird
like
to
it as
have
well.
combat tutorial
Though,
while playing as a different character than the character you're going to be playing through most of the game.
really is
And
a
also,
mystery,
this
ain't
section's
she?
even weirder in retrospect.
What are your thoughts
after
on it?
learning that this stuff never happened. This was all like a story that Sam made up, so it's even weirder that we get to play this.
How much
But
is
this
ours?
does set up the
But didn't you
stakes
say
of the
something
narrative,
about
even though
wanting
they
to
don't end up being
Hey, I'm looking at this footage though. Uncharted 4 is a beautiful fucking game.
Try as I may,
Find the
I've
treasure
yet
to
depict
be
its
back
full essence in
Alcazar,
my
and
painting.
we have Nate the
And like this footage is only 720 too, because I can only record at 720. So it's like at that point, it's like I might as well just render the footage at 720.
Its enigma
I guess
grows
really, if you think about it, it's like it is
And like
all
even
stemming
seeing it at
from
720, like it looks really fucking good.
marriage
Sophia gets
and
along
Nate's
with all
lack
of us.
of being able to
That's
open
what
up
we did.
to
We
her,
did not need to
which
worry
obviously
about
gets
all that hard
rectified
stuff.
by the end of this game, but like knowing Elena's character, you would think that Nate would realize that. Like Elena would be fine with this, right? Like Elena is the type of character that if you tell her the truth, she would be understanding, but instead he lies to her because obviously this is a bit of his character development moving forward. And then we get to chapters 6 and 7, which revolve around Nate and Sam breaking into an auction to steal a
Understanding the
crucifix
heart
similar
will
to the
certainly
one
prove helpful.
that they found in the Panamanian jail
yeah,
all those
what you
years
said.
back. And this
Seems
introduces
pretty
us
dead
to
set on it,
Sully
too.
in this game.
If that's what
It's the
Sophia
same
has
character
decided,
he was in
we
the
should
previous
lend her
games.
our
And
full
that's obviously a
support.
great thing, but at the same
She
time, he
is
doesn't
our
really much
precious
to
ally,
do
after
here
all.
outside of getting the
Sure
original
enough.
crew back
She
together.
could use
But
all
I
the
can
help
also,
she
to
can
be
get.
honest, they don't
Damn,
do
he's
much
starting to
with
get
him.
to me.
Considering I feel
Wanna
like
ditch the
Uncharted
bath
3
and grab some
already
milk
wrapped
coffee?
up most of what his character had to offer anyway. But this section does once again have some fun parkour sections, followed by some fun heist elements as well, with us having to steal
Whoa,
the
that
waiter's
sounds good,
key
too.
card, and
I
then
can't
us
make up
having
my
to cause a
mind.
blackout
Well,
to steal the
protest.
crucifix, and
We are
once
in
Wraith gets
Hokkaido, as you
involved,
may
it becomes a
recall.
lot more tense
It would
as
be a
well. We get
sin
these
to
really
forgo
great
its
scenes
fresh
between him
dairy
and Sully,
offerings for some
where we also get
artificial
introduced to Nate,
substitute.
who fulfills her
To
role
appreciate
as a
it
character. I
properly,
mean,
we
I
must
don't feel like she's
partake
that
right
interesting
as it's
of a character
squeezed from
within
the
this
udder.
game.
By
Obviously, they do
farmers
eventually
done for
expand upon her
millennia.
character within Lost Legacy, and I feel like that makes her a better
So
character
far, man.
overall. Here, she just feels like a secondary antagonist that I never really took too seriously. Chapter 7 does provide a tutorial to the stealth system in the game, which I do credit the developers with creating these bigger combat areas
All right.
that allow
Body
you
and
to
mind
utilize stealth.
refreshed.
and gives you
That
more
bath was
options in
just
how you
what
want
we
to approach
needed.
fights. But
Thanks for suggesting
to
this
be
place,
honest, every time I
Sophia.
play this game, I just rush in there and shoot everyone down anyway.
No
So
problem.
really, I never really
Glad I could be
utilized
of
the
service.
stealth system
I
beyond
noticed
my
you guys
first
were pretty
playthrough,
quiet.
but I mean, it is there.
Oh,
After that, we get to
well,
chapters 8 and 9,
you
which
know.
take place in Scotland, where we have to find Henry Avery's grave, which is located close to where
You have
Rafe
a
has
phone
been
call from
searching
Zenkichi.
all these years. And through this, we get a pretty long parkour section that does have some fun level design revolving around slides and the grapple hook, but as a stretch of gameplay, I do feel like it goes on for a little bit too long. We also get combat sections as well, with shoreline, and the end of the section involves escaping from the cave while like everything is crumbling around you, and that's a decent set piece, but overall not super memorable. This
Zenkichi's
leads
gonna
us to
meet us?
chapter 10, which
Then
takes
let's go
place
be ready for
near Dormant Volcano in Kings Bay, and this is a chapter that revolves around using a cheat to navigate, and it's a pretty large semi-open world, and I will admit I don't like this section at all. I really hate all the vehicle sections in the Uncharted series, and while this one does have some interesting set pieces here
Now that
and
we're all
there,
together,
at the end
let's
of the
talk
day,
about
I'd
the
rather
Monarch
just
of
be doing the
Sapporo.
standard
Our
parkour
suspect's
puzzle
name is
and
Mariko
combat
Hyodo.
gameplay that
Oh,
we know
and
from
wait for it.
Uncharted. But I
She's
guess
the
this
mayor
does
of
increase the
Sapporo
scale
Central.
of the game as a whole. And it also
Our
leads us to
target's
chapter
a
11,
mayor?
where I feel like they rectify all my
No
issues
way!
in chapter 10, where it
Wouldn't
starts
that
off
make
with
her
a
the
really
most
strong parkour
influential
section
person in
of climbing up
Sapporo?
this massive clock
How
tower,
could someone
and it's
like
followed by
that
a series of
be a
puzzles. I mean, while the initial clock tower puzzle is a pretty easy one, the following one, where you figure out all the founders of Libertalia, is actually a pretty complicated one, and I really enjoy having to match the sides of the tiles, along with figuring out which symbol relates to which pirate. I mean, this is probably one of my
This is
favorite
true.
puzzles in the game.
Such things
Though
have
again, it
happened
can run a
before.
bit long,
How'd you find out she's the
especially
one?
because there's a lot of narrative stuff going
Because
on.
everybody's
between
suddenly
this
in
puzzle.
love with
This
her.
does lead to a
Mayor
really
Hyodo's
great
approval
set
rating now
piece where
sits
we
at a
try to
lofty
save Sam from
88%.
shoreline, and from a
She gained
technical
50 points in the
standpoint,
last
this
2 months
is
alone.
really
Did you say
incredible. I mean,
50?
what they're able to do here is really
So she
probably
got
one of
crazy
the bigger
popular
set
out of
pieces in the
nowhere?
entire series. I mean,
More
we
than
started
just
off with
crazy.
a combat section
It's unheard of.
in a market
There's
that
more.
leads to a downhill chase through the
Last
city.
month,
That
3
leads
city
to
councilmen who
hanging on a
opposed her
rope
bill
as he hangs
admitted to
underneath the
corruption
bridge
and
having to avoid
resigned.
the
Any
scaffolding,
remaining
and
councilman
then
who
we
opposed
also
her
get a
suddenly
race
became her
immediately
most
after that
fervent
that involves him
advocates.
jumping
Not to
from
mention
truck
the
to
elections
truck,
coming
and
up.
this section
It's
goes
all
on
too
for
convenient.
a while.
Rumor has
and
it
again,
Hyodo
look,
wants to
I think it
expand
could
her
have been
political
cut down.
influence to the
It doesn't
national
absolutely
level.
need to be as long
PubSec's
as it
been
is, but
investigating that.
this is an extremely impressive
Thanks.
set piece.
We haven't run across
and
any solid
to this
leads
day,
just
probably
yet.
one of the most impressive
So,
I've ever seen.
what do you make about this?
Considering its length and its varied amount of gameplay bits going on within it. This chapter does end with a cutscene where,
Bingo.
after returning to the hotel,
And
we
that's where
find
you
out
come in.
Elena has
It
found out
is
the truth, and
suspicious,
this is a
I
great
will
turning
admit.
point for the story.
But
It really
we
shows
need a
the
keyword
starting
to
point
confirm
for
whether she's a
Nate's
monarch or
character
not.
development, where he
That
seems
won't be a
refuses to
problem.
give up his
She's
quest
already
for the
referenced Emma
treasure,
several
and Sully
times
ends
in
up
her
having to
speeches,
go after Elena
meaning there's a
for
good
him.
chance
But through
she's
this,
been
we have
announcing her
Nate and
keyword
Sam
in
heading for Libertalia on
So
their
you're
own,
saying we
leading
can
us to
find
chapter
out her keyword if we go see her speech?
Very likely.
T-chat.
In fact, Hyodo's going to be in Suzushino on the 10th making a speech. Since it's close to the election, the crowds may well be in the thousands.
It's so fucking weird how, like, in the original game, obviously, we would get these deadlines that are, like, fucking, like a month ahead of, or a month away. Yet here, it's like, oh, yeah, you have 2 days, motherfucker.
Is something wrong, Haru? No, it's
There's only a
just...
few islands you actually have to explore.
It's
and
hard to
this does lead to a
explain.
lot of parkour
Mariko
sections, which are
Hyodo.
fun. There's some fun things.
Yeah, if I remember right, I
Familiar
lost footage here, right?
I mean, she is the mayor of
Yeah, like,
town.
that was another thing that was a problem with the Uncharted video. I lost, like, a good chunk of footage
Of this middle
Sorry.
section of
for some reason.
I
Like,
feel like
Whatever
everything
you
up
do,
until this point
YouTube just wouldn't let me get it.
solid. Like,
I'm
while
saying
I
this
have
to
minor
keep you
complaints
safe.
here and
It'll
there,
be a
again, like, I
downright
don't...
pain
Because
in the
obviously, like,
ass
what I
to
do
try
for my
and
YouTube video, for my other channel, is the footage I'm recording here, I just download it from YouTube.
Hey, should
It
we
is still
tell him
by
what happened
far
with Ichinose-san?
one of the greatest linear
She's an
experiences
important part of our
I've ever
investigation
had.
now.
But chapters 12 through possibly even like 19
Yeah, why not?
Alright.
just drag for me. Now, obviously, there's great moments
two have
within
something
that,
you wanna share?
particularly after Elena gets involved. But for the most part,
Yeah, I
wish
like
this
lost
section was
a lot of
probably
the footage
had
of chapter,
like
well, the
sections where we're just
chapter.
doing the same thing over and
That's
over and
Kuan
over
Ichinose,
again.
you
I mean,
said?
with chapter 13
Really?
on, with the exception of that flashback sequence, it all takes
Right,
place
she was on my
the
report.
same island with the same
Ichinose
types
is the one
of
who wrote
parkour
Emma from
sections,
scratch.
and I just
you
kind
looking
of
into
find
her?
myself bored during those sections.
I was looking into
But with
Matisse,
the end of
actually.
chapter 12, though, we
Wasn't
do
long before
catch
her
up
name
with the
popped up.
prologue.
The
In
famous
chapter
inventor
13,
who sold
we
off
start
the
I forgot I did that. That was a fun. That's a fun little edit.
How'd you get close with
Where it's
someone
like
like that?
it's Nate jumping
Oh,
off a cliff, and then it transitions to like
guess it just
chapter
sorta
13 of him
happened.
landing on his face and
Love that
stuff.
moment in the
Is her
prologue, and we can
familiarity
spend this
with Emma.
entire section
If
alone
anyone
and
uses
parkouring
it,
our way
she
through
could
the
help us
island,
find out
we
who
get introduced
and
to
why.
these spikes that allow us
Only
to climb
Ichinose knows
into
Emma's
craggy
ins and
rocks,
outs, no
and
matter what
this adds a
version
new
it is.
mechanic to the
Makes sense.
climbing arsenal
The report
here,
didn't
but
make her
yeah,
out
for
to
me
be
it doesn't
somebody
really
dangerous.
change
And while she
enough
does sound like a
to make me
valuable
feel like
source
I'm
of
not
info,
just doing
I
the
really
same
want you
thing
guys to be
over
more
and over
careful
again.
about this
Eventually
operation.
we do meet
I'm
back up
trusting you
with
guys
Sam,
a
and
lot
that starts
by
chapter
sharing all
14,
this
and
classified
this is
intel.
really where it hits
So
you that
I'd prefer
yeah,
you don't go
this
creating
is more of the
liabilities
same.
like
Again,
this behind
same
my
types
back.
of combat sections,
Understood.
same types of parkour
We'll take your
sections.
advice to heart.
Now there's this section where you
And
walk
besides,
through a town,
shouldn't
and that's actually
I
pretty
be your
fun,
go-to
where you do
guy
have
for
some
help?
good
Seeing you
optional
guys run off making
conversations with Sam.
confidants left and right.
Yeah, I
makes me
lost
feel
all
like a
footage of
little
my
Outside of that,
Trying to gain our trust and get our
the playthrough that I did where I like fully explored and did a lot of optional things. Like I completely lost all that footage, so that was something that was kind of a pain to work around.
where the treasure's supposedly at, and it's going to be on the other side of the mountain. Thank God for that.
fly
But
as
we
any
are
one of you
eventually ambushed
kids.
by Nadine.
Yeah, I literally just skipped through like 2 chapters worth of stuff.
Our story is just made up. And
least say
I don't
something.
remember how surprised I was the first time I played the game, but really analyzing the narrative now, it should have been pretty expected.
I don't need your
Considering
pity.
Alcazar has played really no
You're
part
the one
in the
bringing
story
it up.
outside of his introduction.
Never mind
And
that.
it really just seemed ridiculous
Point
that
is,
the end of this
there's a
game would
speech
just
on the
be
10th, and I
Sam
counted it
handing
as
over the money to a drug lord and nothing would come out of that. So this revelation should have been foreseen,
was
but
something
this is
we
where
could
we
do
get
then.
Sam taking a bullet
I'm
from
not
Nate, and
a
he
fan
gets
of
knocked
waiting.
off a cliff.
What
leading
else
to
can we
chapter
do but be
16, which
prepared
was
and
the
keep
other
ourselves in
flashback
top
sequence
condition?
in the game.
It's like
Continuing off of
Senkichi said
chapter
earlier.
1, where
Let's
Nate and
enjoy
Sam
our leisure
explore his
time and
mansion
make the
looking
most of
for
our
their
trip.
mother's research, and
Since we're in Hokkaido,
gameplay-wise,
we should
it's
chat out
again
on seafood.
kind of boring.
I
It's
hear
a lot of just
Hokkaido
walking
soup
around,
curry is also
interacting
must
with
be
boxes a lot of the time.
I'd like to visit the
Nothing
former
happens
government
from them.
office.
Like, I don't
Your
know,
flowers are
gameplay-wise, it's
supposed to be
whatever, but
breathtaking.
narratively, it's fantastic.
Okay,
Definitely the better
then I'll
flashback
send
of
Ruth
the
that
two.
takes us to each
Largely
of those
to the ending,
destinations.
where we find
Thanks,
out that
Sophia.
the origin of the
Directions
Drake
are all
name
yours tomorrow.
from Sir Francis Drake being the focus of their mom's research, and them honoring their mom's research by using her theory about Drake having descendants to change their name. And again, this is great. It really feels like a conclusive scene, like a scene that we needed to see
It's
in the
actually
final
pretty
installment
hip for such an
of
old
Nate's
place.
story. Now,
It
how's
was
it
once
connect
the
to
main
the other
office
games
for
in the
the
series?
Hokkaido government.
Not
Now it
great.
remains
There's
a symbol
definitely
of
some
the
plot
island,
holes here and
and
there,
an
but
important
it is a great
cultural
moment
property.
in its own right. But also one that I feel like feels
There's a
forced
stillness and
in here.
symmetry
It
here
feels
that
like,
ignites
even
my
though, as
artist's
I
soul.
just said, like it
And the
needed to
garden
be here
is
in the
so
final installment of
lovely.
Nate's story.
How many
It feels
kinds
like
of
it's here
flowers do you
just
think
because
there
of
are?
that, though.
What's
Like, obviously, it
going
does
on
build
over there?
upon the Nate and Sam relationship, but does it, though? Like, I don't think this flashback sequence really adds that much outside of just showing the longevity of their relationship. Now I get the concept of, like, this cementing, like, yeah, they're brothers, we need to go save his brother, but it's like, at the end of the day, this wasn't a 100% necessary piece of the story in my eyes. But this does lead to chapter 17, where we find out that Nate has been telling this story to Elena to help her understand his rationale, and we really see the first semblance of his character development here, where at this point he doesn't really care about the treasure, and now is only focused on saving Sam. But also through the next few chapters, we get a lot of development from him in terms of his relationship with Elena, where again I mentioned this before, that a lot of this game's conflict, especially in
Did he just
relation
call
to
her
Elena,
Mayor?
comes from him not being open with her,
Oh,
him not telling
are
her
you
about
all
massive
so
elements of
sincere?
his life,
I'm
and
sorry you
here
had to
we
witness
do
such
finally have the start of him
unprofessional
doing
behavior from
so.
us staff
Now, the next
during
3
your
chapters do focus
Oh,
on that
no.
Nate and Elena relationship, with us on the hunt for Sam, and while there are again some great character moments between the two, with some really great dialogue as they repair their relationship. Gameplay here, though, does kind of bore
Of
me. Again, it's
course
a lot of
you
the problems I
wouldn't
had with these last
recognize
few
me.
chapters,
You were
where
tiny
you have
the
this really
last
long
time I
vehicle
saw
section
you.
interspliced with
It's
combat
me,
sections that
Mariko
play out pretty
Kyoto.
similarly to what the already had
President
before.
Okumura
Now,
was
this
a
is
very
followed
good
by
friend of
chapter
mine.
19, which takes place entirely in the
She's
underground
the
catacombs,
mayor?
and I don't
Oh, she's the one that we're after?
I've talked about this in many videos in the past. I'm not a big fan
You're
of
Mari's son?
underground, dark levels within games,
Oh, that
and
lifts
this
my
is no
heart.
exception. However,
It's
I
been
find this
ever so
extremely
long.
impressive from a
do
technical
you know
standpoint,
this
as
lady?
well as
Yes,
because
of
it's so
course I
dark,
do.
they
She used to
are
come visit me
utilizing
back when I was little,
realistic
Mari-san was one of my
effects
father's
here through
clients.
the torches.
We used to go
And for
golfing
me,
all the
that is a
time,
pretty
and she'd
impressive
always
technical
keep me
feat.
company
Also,
whenever
this
I
chapter
was
does
bored
have
or
some great
lonely.
moments between and Elena, with this essentially being the culmination of their
got that
relationship
right.
arc. Then also there is a puzzle within this section, the booby trap puzzle that I actually do really like as well.
What happened?
Are you ready for fun again?
Oh no.
For the
Thank
rush
you
of
for your
relaxing
concern.
thrills
Well, if
and
there's
the
anything
adventure
that's
of
been
endless
troubling you,
flavors to
know
sample.
that I'm here for you with open
That leads us to chapter 20,
I appreciate
which
you
is a
saying
very
that,
combat-heavy
but I'm okay.
section
I
of the
have
game
good people
that takes
managing my
place in the ship's
company,
graveyard,
and I'm
which
working hard
involves
to finish my
reuniting with
degree.
Sam, and once
And
we
while I'm
do, we
grateful to be
convince him to
Yeah,
surrounded
it's
by
starting to
such
break
wonderful
away from my
people,
Final Fantasy 7
I
videos,
still
so
have
that's
to walk
something
on
at
my
least.
own 2 feet.
I did lose a subscriber, so that's something.
Sully now with Sam in their reins, and it's a nice change of pace to have this more relaxed
Mari-san,
section immediately
I'm not a
after
little
that
kid
very
anymore.
combat-heavy section beforehand, where they're just
Please
walking
forgive
through town trying to get back to the
Seems
plane.
my
Though
emotions got
obviously
the
it doesn't
better of
last
me.
long, where
Now
after
then,
trying to find a
are
way to
you
get
here
across the
visiting
gap,
with
we
your
get
friends?
separated from
I
Sam,
hope you're
and
all
Sam
enjoying
runs off on his own to get the treasure,
Rest assured,
leading us to chapter
my
21,
staff is
where we are
working
chasing
hard to
down
make Sapporo
very
a
quickly. Elena and
beautiful
Sully
and
get separated
worthwhile
from us, and we
destination
have
for
a
all.
nice farewell moment between Nate
Just
and
stare
Elena.
at the
But from
ground.
this point on,
Replace these hideous
until the
flowers
start of
with
chapter
buttons.
22, we spend the rest of the time in a decently long parkour section to reach the mountain where Avery's ship is, and the entire time you are alone, so you can actually speed through this one pretty quickly, unlike the previous parkour sections of the game where you have companions. And I will say,
Now, as much as
I
I'd
had
like
so
to
much
keep
fun
chatting, there
with
are
this section. This
preparations
might
to be done.
actually be
This
the
election
section
has
I had the
kept me
most
busy
fun with
night and
on the
day.
replay
But
here.
do
I
let
have the
me know if
mastery
there's
of
any way I
the
can
new mechanics from having played through the game up until this point. It's just a lot of fun to just blow through this parkour section. It kind of
Sorry
reminds
to be
me
so
of
blunt,
like
but
the
she
tunes
seems
from
really
earlier Assassin's
two-faced.
Creed games. That are just really fun
Mari-san,
parkour sections.
you used to
Within
be
those
so
games,
kind to
this
everyone.
chapter very much feels
think
similar
maybe
to
she's
them.
not
Then we
the
get to
monarch
chapter
we're
22,
after?
the final
I don't know.
real
I
chapter
just saw her
in
go
the
apeshit
game,
on that
where
guy.
we arrive at Avery's
Normal
ship.
people
However,
don't get
along the way,
pissed over
traps
plants.
get set off, and the
Are
ship
you
is now
okay,
on
Haru?
fire as we find
Yes, I'm
Rafe
fine.
and Sam in a
Just
room
a
with
little
the treasure,
surprised is
and
all.
also the corpses
and
of
sorry I
Avery
didn't get her
and Sue.
keyword.
And again, I like how
was
they use that to like
preoccupied.
mirror the current situation. But now with Nadine leaving Rafe for dead, we do get our final confrontation with Rafe, and narratively, I
Yeah,
feel like
it's
this
like
is
we
a really
discussed.
satisfying
We'll
one,
hear it
where
when she
Rafe
makes her
talks about his
speech.
jealousy
Dakota's
over
right.
Nate's
Our
successes
chance will
and
come.
proceeds
For
to
today,
reference the previous
let's go around
games.
asking for rumors
So is this one gonna be focused around Haru
instead
of like Makoto?
I mean, he does
Like
very
the
much feel like an
original
afterthought in this
story?
game, with Nate's relationships with Elena and Sam being the primary focuses. I do still think that Rafe's character does a solid enough job at being like the antithesis to Nate's character, where Nate obviously grew up starting with nothing. I mean, obviously the motto is greatness from small beginnings. Well, Rafe has had everything handed to him throughout life and strives for
Okay,
treasure as
where are we at
well.
time-wise?
So,
27.
he still hasn't been
Okay, I
able
think
to
we'll do some
like,
investigation and we'll call it a day.
here that he will be able to prove that to himself. But now from a gameplay standpoint, it is cool to have this sword fight with Rafe in the middle of a burning building and get a pretty cool set piece, but it does feel very detached from the rest of the game.
Really?
Time we control Drake in a sword fight, and it feels kind of anticlimactic to end Nate's story in a one-time special fight instead of something more related to the base combat system utilized throughout all the games. Though I did like how Rafe ends up being defeated, treasure landing on him, crushing him, felt like a perfect way to end the story. But this is where we get to rescuing Sam, and it does feel like Sam is actually gonna die. I actually thought the first time playing the game, but that wouldn't feel very. So we do have Nate blowing a hole in the ship
what you'd like?
in order to sink it into
Here
the
you go.
three
Stop
Sam
by
and
again.
escape, which leads to a pretty happy ending, which again feels appropriate for Uncharted. If this had been something like The Last of Us or Walking Dead Telltale or any other more grounded narrative experience, I would have been kind of underwhelmed with this ending of like everyone coming out alive and everyone getting what they wanted. But again, this is Uncharted. This is a series that has always felt like a romanticized version of reality. This Indiana Jones ripoff. So because I didn't feel like this is more kind of like the ending of the story. Now this is shooting very well. Elena and Sam, which is a pretty heartwarming scene.
Yeah.
This is Sam and Sully team up with their storyline as well. Though obviously there are some questions about my time. I guess maybe I'll watch more of that.
No.
Doing almost like a perspective down the road. But we do also get to see how Nate and Elena's story ends with them using the little money that they got from the college to buy the salvage company that Nate works for, and using Elena's connections to use it to lighten the adventure. And this kind of, again, a great way to wrap up this
Yeah, that's right. Right? Or is this where I was? No, that was where I was. Yeah. I think? No, I started up there. Right? I'm fucking confused. Whatever. Everything looks fucking same.
See. Yo. Hey.
Yeah, I'll be honest, this is definitely not my greatest work, this video. Yeah, I'm not, I think in retrospect, after watching this back, it's not my favorite video in the world. Again, like, in comparison to, I did not mean to stop it, I don't know why I did that. Yeah, like, in comparison to, I mean, even my Final Fantasy VII video I didn't particularly love, but, like, I am pretty proud of, like, the Last of Us Part 2 video that will be coming out in a few months. Like, I do feel like that is a video I'm very happy with. I do feel like, I feel like there's, like, future videos that I'm very, very happy with, but, yeah, the Uncharted one, I mean, I feel like that's probably not my best work. You know, actually, I kind of want... Oh, yeah, my AC Valhalla one. It's a video I'm very proud of, too. But anyway, even though I don't fully agree with it anymore, but still. What was the other video I wanted to watch? There's another video I wanted to rewatch. Cyberpunk. I want to rewatch my Cyberpunk video. Seriously, I'm just kind of interested in, like, revisiting my thoughts on Cyberpunk. Because seriously, at this point, my opinion's kind of, like, really soured on it. But I feel like a lot of that is probably influenced by, obviously, the general reception to it.
Hey.
Project Red's latest. Alright guys, you're back with a video. In this video, I'll be doing a review of CD Project Red's latest game. The game filled with controversy, and that is Cyberpunk 2077. And this is not a video I planned on making. This is a very impromptu video here.
Hey.
Unlike my other spoiler reviews I do. This one is mostly unscripted. But I feel like I have a decent amount of thoughts on playing this game, enough to warrant the video. And I just literally just finished playing the game. So yeah, let's talk about it. And obviously, again, as I said, there's a lot of controversy with this game, its performance on consoles. And I will say that I didn't play this on a PS4, which ran very long. There's really no way around it. It's like, yeah, the game runs terribly on a basic PS4, but to be honest, I personally was expecting, especially like after there were some rumors that came out like a few weeks before the release of the game, where they were saying, oh, people are delaying the game because they haven't published the last gen version. It's not surprising. So like, I bought this game knowing there was going to be a glitch. Welcome.
Thank you. See you again.
It hasn't been nearly as bad as a lot of other. And I know there's some people that are even playing this on a PS5 that have had enough glitches to the point where they just want to stop playing the game. And I get it. Again, my personal experience with this game wasn't there. Now, there was definitely some glitches at points. There were only 2 crashes. I mean, a lot of people talk about how this game crashes all the time. I only got 2 crashes my entire playthrough, which I did rush through the main story. That took about 18 hours. There were a couple side quests here and there, but for the most part, this was me just kind of blowing through the story, and a lot of that was because of how glitchy the game was, and because of that, I decided, you know what, let's play through the game all the way this time. I will come back through the game after the patches come out, replay the game,
Wanna head back?
do all the side content then. And I felt like for the most part, the main story missions weren't that glitchy. The
It should be good.
that I personally got came from the open world. And there's a lot of textures not loading in right away, where you literally see them loaded right in front of you, which is funny.
I've been
There's
waiting
times
for
where
you.
a vehicle
It
or a person
seems that you
spawns
and
out
your
of
friends
nowhere.
are becoming
There's
much
times
stronger.
where a character's
However,
like T-posing.
the shadow of
certain
calamity
animations haven't loaded
creeps
in. Like,
ever
there
closer
is
to
some
your path.
very
Please
wonky
bear
stuff
this in
within
mind.
the world, but from my experience of just blowing through just the main missions, like I felt like a good chunk of them were pretty polished.
I only
But even
know
through
that an
just playing
evil
the
is
main missions, there
worming
were
its
definitely
way
points
into
where you
being,
get massive frame
though
rate
I know
drops
not
during
its true
combat.
nature.
There's times where like just
As
out of
for the
nowhere I
topic
would
at
die
hand,
and I would have no clue how
I
I
summoned
died,
you
like
here
what
to
just
notify
happened.
you
Like,
about
there
your
are definitely
power
some
of the wild
moments
card.
within
The number
main
of
story
personas
that
you can
aren't great,
maintain
but
has
for me,
increased
again, the
due to your
experience as a
growth.
whole was probably the best that it's going to be coming from
Increasing
playing
matches. Increase carry up to 10.
The
Okay.
potential to
That's
wield
whatever.
multiple personas comes with endless possibilities. Hone this power alongside the companions with whom you formed unbreakable bonds, and prepare for the coming calamity. Whatever else you may need,
cyberpunk
I'm here
version
for you.
of The Witcher. And that's not really what we got here.
Welcome to the
What we
Velvet
got
Room.
here is essentially a cyberpunk version of Fallout. In many ways, this is probably one of the better Fallout games I've ever played in terms of narrative, in terms of
Is there anything we can get here?
New self.
Man, not really.
You wish to strengthen it.
I can't do it, can I? No. Oh well. Alright.
First-person shooter RPG, pretty robust RPG system that, to be honest, I barely even delved into. Dialogue choices, branching narratives, like that sort of thing that you would expect.
I'm sure you are all aware of the prior corruption that plagued our city council. Make no mistake, no one is more ashamed than I. As such, the ethics bill I propose will leave no more room for corruption to rear its ugly head. With your support, I will make the city of Sapporo a beautiful, stainless paradise. Like fresh snow on a winter's day. Together, let us turn our home into a beacon of light to the world, where both citizens and government leaders radiate truth and purity. Now, everyone, let's clean Sapporo up!
We're on it, Mayor Hyodo!
Mayor, that was incredible!
I do think some things that did let me down a bit.
Holy shit!
One, it's
It's like we stepped into a cult.
Popularity is unbelievable. Do you think everyone here had their hearts changed?
Crowds have a tendency to attract people. I imagine some of them came of their own volition.
Also, I do think there's a lot of interactivity mechanics that I expected to be in that.
Look, Hyodo has her phone out.
She's gonna say it. You ready?
I'm sure you're all familiar with Emma, yes? I'm also no stranger to
Yeah, I think we're gonna call it a day after this episode. I do have some other stuff going on, actually.
Outside Hokkaido, or even outside the country, this invitation extends to each of you as well. The keyword is Snow City. Well, there you have it.
The whole audience is friending her.
Shouldn't we be stopping her right now?
No, causing a scene here would only draw unwanted attention. I hate to say it, but all we can do for now is watch. We can at least be glad we got the keyword. Now we can infiltrate Hyodo's jail anytime we like. The smell here in Suzushino isn't too strong. Getting inside the jail won't be a problem.
So the preparations have been made.
Then let's go, everyone. If Mari-san really is the monarch, only we can stop her. We can't let her toy with the hearts of innocent people.
True that.
Alright, then let's ready up and begin infiltration.
You know what? Actually, I think at this point we might as well get to start at the jail. I lost footage of that, didn't I?
Now that's most of what I have to say about the gameplay. Now let's move on to the story. where obviously you play as V. Now you can play as a female or male version of the character. I went with the male version during this playthrough. The plan is to go with a female version on my replay when I
Okay.
I didn't like the male version. I like the voice acting. One of the most dynamic starting with the character creation, which felt very weird. It's really strange how it felt like they went very in detail on like things that don't matter, while like kind of ignoring some pretty big things. You also start the game by choosing your light path, and this was kind of pointless. I was actually really underwhelmed with how this worked out because I was really expecting Project Red of all teams to be able to create very choices that matter, and these light paths ultimately one of to really change up the story, and it doesn't really do much. Like I personally
Alright, we'll enter. So I guess this is where we will call it a day. Next episode, continue on. That'll probably be tonight. Might get a late start tonight due to all the other things going on, but yeah, we'll see. Yeah, for now, that's the video. Thank you for watching.